This is now the third episode of my 4-part mini-series all about cheaper cuts of meat and how you can make them stretch further at home. In my first episode, I spent time with my local butcher exploring these cheaper cuts. I'm going to put a link at the end of this video so you can check that one out later on. Today, I'm cooking beef shin. This is a proper melt-in-your-mouth dish. I'm going to sear it off on both sides, then cook it low and slow with some other lovely ingredients. It's going to be so juicy and moist, you're going to absolutely love this one. Let's dive in. As you'll see in my first video, there are a couple of different cuts when it comes to shin of beef. This is bone in. Inside that bone is marrow, which is really rich. This has got some great fat content, which will help keep the meat moist. And of course, it's brilliant flavour. To help thicken the sauce, I'm going to sprinkle with a tablespoon of flour and salt and pepper. This will actually form a nice crust when I seal the meat. Also, I've got some lovely veggies: celery, onion, carrot and garlic. Sounds like a bolognese, doesn't it? I can assure you it's not, but these classic ingredients do really go well together. Cut all of them up. Some of them I leave a bit chunkier than others, such as the onion and celery. I've got my rosemary, bay and chopped tomatoes. I quite like getting ahead and opening cans and general prep ahead of time, so when I'm ready to go I can cook. Also some beef stock and some tomato puree. Let's start this little beauty off then. You could use olive oil or a regular type of oil in your pan to help caramelise. I'm using some pork fat from last week when I cooked my belly of pork, and this works well. You can always skim off the fat later, but at this point it allows you to get some good colour on that beef. Flip over once you've got a nice colour. Keep an eye on it, you don't want it to smoke, so the heat doesn't always need to be full whack. Once you're happy you've got some nice caramelisation on that beef shin, transfer to a plate and add in your other vegetables. The trick is to keep moving this around. You could always use a dash of water to release any residue from the bottom of the pan, as I did, but I did add the carrot and onion first and then the other vegetables and herbs a few minutes later. Once you've picked up a bit of colour, add in the tomato puree, stir it around to take away any tartness, and then your canned tomatoes. You want to give this pan a really good stir, and also the beef stock can go in. Bring this to a simmer, and then it can go into a 160-degree oven. Throughout that time, the beef shin is going to break down and become really succulent. I think it's really important when you're cooking these harder working cuts that you give it enough time so they become really tender. I'm going to let this cook away for a good 3 hours. 20 minutes or so before you're ready, cook some potatoes. I've got some baby potatoes here, and cook until tender. When the beef shin is ready, take out of the oven. I've chosen to skim my fat off. This sauce is thickened and it looks and tastes delicious. Now I can serve up. For freshness, I'm going to sprinkle on some chopped parsley. So here we are, a beautiful beef shin stew. A lot of the time it can be quite dark and rich and heavy, but I've kept this tomato base so it's a little bit lighter, and garnishing it with fresh parsley at the end I think is a really nice touch. Looking forward to diving into this one. I'm pretty hungry. Really, really tasty. Good job that I cooked that beef shin for a long period of time. But you know what? You are rewarded with a delicious cut of meat. It's really flavoursome, really tasty. It just falls apart. It's very, very tender. Brilliant dish and pretty cheap to make as well. Don't forget to watch that video where I went to my local butcher's and checked out these cheaper cuts of meat. Thank you so much for watching today's video, fellow foodies, and until next time, I will catch you later.